And there you go. We're back. Hopefully the video and the audio is pretty cool tonight. Dawn says, wow, that's amazing. It was amazing, Dawn. 1.1 million impressions. I mean, between us, every tweet we were putting out had up to around about 70,000 reach on it. I've only got about 16,000 followers on Twitter. I think Chris Stone's got about 45,000 almost now or something like that. Plus we were putting it out on Facebook and stuff. But yeah, on Twitter alone, 1.1 million, which is just absolutely insane. Shari, I can see. Good afternoon and good night from New York. Amazing. Shari, honestly, I love New York. It's literally one of my favourite places in the world. Amanda, great to see you here on Facebook as well. Natalie Hughes is here on Facebook as well. I've got some awesome stuff to present to you tonight, guys. I don't know if people are watching for the first time now and they're like, who is this guy? If you are, because I just sent an email out to about 2,500 people. Simon Sweets just joined us on Periscope. If you are watching for the first time, I actually do this twice a week. You might never have tuned into a video broadcast before that I do, but I do one on a Monday night at 9 p.m. UK time, one on a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. UK time. The Monday night's one we term motivation and mind hacks, and it's effectively a personal development periscope. It is for actors, but it's not like, it doesn't apply just to actors. The stuff we talk about, and particularly the stuff we talk about tonight, just applies to successful people. So if you want to have success in literally anything, Bobby's here. Excellent, Bobby. We have missed you, mate, definitely. If you want success in anything, what we're going to talk about tonight is really going to help you just with that. It's going to help you get your mind right, okay? Get your mental game right so that you can actually go and attack the goals that you want to achieve in the right way. On a Wednesday night, I do something called Book Club, dead straightforward. This month, so I do one book a month. This month, we're looking at an awesome book by Sean Stevenson called Get Off Your Butt. You might know Sean Stevenson as a motivational speaker, an incredibly well-educated psychologist, like just practitioner of everything that he teaches. Was born with a lot of adversity, has overcome it, has achieved incredible stuff. I'll talk all about that on Wednesday night. We're going to be looking at chapter 2 of the book. We looked at chapter 1 last week and a bit of an overview of it. Going to carry that on Wednesday night. But yeah, let me know if you've got Sean's book yet as well. If you actually went and bought it, you can get it on Amazon. It's not particularly dear. It's about £10 in the UK. I don't know what it would be for you guys in the States, but it's a bargain, honestly. Top guy. Go and watch Sean's TED Talks as well. He does some great talks over on TED. So tonight, guys, we are going to be looking at 5 things. This is just 5. I mean, it's all subjective. This is my kind of opinion, but this is 5 things that I've been noticing recently. I've been noticing insanely successful people do. You all know that on here, I'm absolutely obsessed with the science of success, basically behind the scenes, how you can reverse engineer success in everything, because success has always been the same. It will always be the same. You can be successful in different things, but the way that you get there, the kind of overriding principles are very, very similar in every circumstance. So don't give me any of these nonsense excuses about how this doesn't apply to me, okay? Everything on here tonight applies to you, regardless whether you're an actor, you're a singer, you're a plumber, you're a baker, whatever you are, racing car driver, it all applies. Mary, good evening. Just seeing you join on Periscope. Before we begin, I would absolutely love it. I mean, the world to me if you would just share this, guys. If you share this broadcast, you can share it on Twitter. Literally just retweet it. If you watch it on Twitter, give it a retweet. Would massively appreciate that. Let me know when you have, so I can give you a shout out. If you would share it on Facebook for me, would mean the world as well. If you just share it out to your friends or on any acting groups or just anything. Anything, basically. Just get it out there. I just want more eyes on. So if you're in the Periscope app, you can see on your screen now, you click the 3 dots, you click share, and you send that over to Facebook or Twitter, wherever you want, but would hugely appreciate a share if you would do that for us. So the reason for this scope, do you know what? Do you know what actually the catalyst was? I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. All right, Caroline, good evening. The reason I wanted to do this scope tonight, and I'll just put the title on for those who are just joining now, is, have you been watching... And I don't care what you think of this guy or not. Have you been watching Conor McGregor's press conferences with Floyd Mayweather? Have you seen any of those as of yet? Because, I mean, I'm not... Thank you, Warren, for sharing. I'm not like a big boxing fan. I'm certainly not an MMA fan. Good evening, Nicole. But I've been absolutely gripped by this guy when how he basically carries himself at a press conference, what he's done to get where he's got, effectively... really, really just not abiding by any of the rules. And he's completely disrupting the entire boxing industry. And throughout time, The really, 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 really successful people have all been the disruptors. The ones who go, you know what, I don't give a shit about these rules. I don't care what the done thing is. I don't care how in the acting industry you go about getting a job, or in the music industry you go about getting a record deal, or in boxing. So Marco says, yeah, rule breaker. Absolutely, he gets attention. He's absolutely electric to watch, this guy. And I was looking at it, I'm going, you know what, this is like yet another example of somebody who is doing nothing by the rules, and he's getting everything he wants out of life because he's just asking for it. And when people say no, he goes, whatever, I'll go and get it anyway. So I've kind of distilled down some traits I'm seeing in Conor, but other people as well, not just Conor McGregor tonight. Other people, and I've kind of boiled it down to 5 things that I'm noticing really, really insanely successful people doing right now. I just want to go through those with you tonight. Nicole says, I think I want to marry him. She says, I've seen him and he's amazing. He is pretty incredible, isn't he? I just love the way he just doesn't give a shit. Corey says he always wants the attention of the media. Ross, he does, but he gets it, doesn't he? Everybody on here, if you're an actor or you're in the media, whatever you are, you want the attention of the media. And you look at this guy and you go, he ain't going about it the way that everybody would tell him to go about it. He's going about it in a completely different way. So we're going to look at what those things are tonight. And I say this applies to everybody, not just Conor. Anyone I've ever seen. Look at Steve Jobs and people, who've made massive waves in tech. You look at people who've made massive waves in previous, eras gone by. People like the Wright brothers. People would have laughed at them if they were like, right, we're going to basically fold up a sheet of metal. We're going to whack some wings on it. We're going to fly people across the sea. They go, bullshit. No, you're not. It's massively unreasonable to think of that. It's hugely unreasonable for me to think I can go to the corner of my room right now, flick a switch, and a light comes on. Thomas Edison didn't think that was unreasonable. He did, but in a good way. So it's people like that who disrupt, who get what they want. So, yeah, to have major success, guys, I think you've just got to start doing things differently. And I'm getting better at this. I really am getting better at this. And I think the older I get, the less I give a shit as well. And the better and better I get this. I'm 34 now. I'm so much better at doing things differently than I was at 24. At 24, all I wanted to do was follow the rules. I was so afraid to colour outside the lines, bash into any walls. I just wanted to stay in my lane, go straight down the middle and just do what everybody else was doing, okay? But the more that I look at the people in the world who are having incredible amounts of success, the more I see the same 5 traits appearing again and again. And that's what I want to share with you tonight. So let's look at trait number 1. Caroline says, oh my God, yes. Okay, so trait number 1, right? Successful people challenge the word no. Okay, and this is again, it's becoming easy. Just let me know how comfortable you are at challenging the word no. I'm getting more and more comfortable with it as I get older, like I say, as I have more experience of life, and particularly the acting industry as well. Successful people don't just jump when someone asks them to. And yet a lot of actors here, if a casting director asks you to do something, you would just jump. You wouldn't, you wouldn't like challenge it or anything like that. Successful people constantly challenge every single person that dares to tell them no. So if you write to a casting director and they tell you no, don't bother me again, I reckon you probably wouldn't bother them again. Or you would, that would completely turn you off. And you would be like, I'm not challenging anybody in this industry. Who am I to challenge this person who says no? Successful people don't do that. They believe that they can turn any no into a yes. And that no is just a temporary setback to achieving their ultimate goal. And I think the reason that a lot of people don't like challenging no's that I'm noticing in this industry, and let me know if you agree with this just in life in general, is because people are romanticizing the shit out of kind of like perceived power. So I think people really romanticize casting directors in the acting industry. They appear to be the gatekeepers of the world. If you can, get on with the casting director, they can get you in the room for a job. And to a certain extent, that is true. They're not the only people who can get you in the room for a job, though. You could bypass them completely and go straight to a director, straight to a writer, straight to an executive producer. Casting directors will never tell you that, obviously, because they want to romanticize their own power as well. When we start challenging power and doing things a bit differently and challenging people's no's, then, people then have to kind of like evolve themselves and get a bit better and a bit better and a bit better. And I think what happens in this industry is people get to a certain point where they're happy with the power that they've got. And they're like, right, well, you know what? I don't want anyone to challenge me to this pedestal. So I'm going to get every person in this industry to put me on this pedestal. If I can get as many actors on social media to put me on this huge pedestal, I've won. And I think we should start. I don't mean I'm not starting a revolution here at all, guys, or anything like that. But I just don't want you to not challenge a no if it comes from somebody that you see as having perceived power. Because if you're gonna basically fall down as soon as you get that first no, then effectively, there's probably like, what, 25 decent casting directors in the UK casting TV right now. You'd have 25 chances, 25 attempts at your dream, and then you'd give up. You go, well, I've been to every single casting director, every single one of them said no on the first attempt, so I'm never going to try again. And it's just an absolute recipe for failure. That ultimately, that is it. Okay, whereas if you look at every no, and like I say this all the time, as one step closer to a yes, almost like you're a salesman, you've got to go about it the right way. You can't, hard sell people or, use cheesy tactics and shit like that. You've got to figure out how you're actually going to get that yes. But ultimately, yeah, I want people to just challenge. I definitely am doing this more and more. I'm challenging the word no. I almost... Give me some hearts on Periscope or some comments on Facebook. In a sick kind of like backwards way, I almost get off on being told no. When someone says no to me, it's almost like I'm like, yes. Honestly, I know it's weird, but in a way, because then it gives me this sort of like this power to go out and prove them wrong, because I try and follow up every no with I told you so. So if anything, it kind of propels me to move forward when people say no, because I get a bit stubborn and I think, well, I'm going to do it without you. Anybody else get like that? And it was just me, just being completely weird. But no, I get just, maybe not quite as, but I'd say I would get almost as excited at a no as I would at a yes. Because it basically puts down the gauntlet and I'm like, right, okay, let's go. I will show you how I can do this without you and victory will be even sweeter. Nicole says that's unstoppable confidence for you. It is, or it's complete madness, Nicole. I don't know, but I almost love it. I've been like that before, says Alex. It's good, and I want you to fall in love with that. Fall in love with the no's, because it's going to make the yeses even sweeter when you get them. He says not all the time. Alex says not all the time, but in the past. Let's have a look. Alex as well, different Alex, has said I had a phone interview for a Christmas job earlier, and when I said I could sing, he asked me to sing down the phone. Awkward. Did you sing, Alex? Did you do that, or did you give him a no? Hopefully you just belted out a bit of a Christmas song. But that's number one, guys, right? Successful people challenge the word no. So as the week goes on, it's only Monday. When you get no's this week, that are career related, don't challenge a no off a policeman or somebody like that. But they're career related and it's actually safe to challenge the no. Challenge the no, please. Like, don't just accept no of somebody. The minute you get a no, go, oh, well, that's it then. That was the only chance I had. I'm done. Okay, because I bet you didn't do that in other walks of life. You probably didn't do that with the person you're married to right now. Hannah says, sounds great. Or the boyfriend or the girlfriend you've got now. Maybe you had to do a bit of a chase. Maybe they pied you off the first time and you went back again and again because you really wanted it. Maybe you did, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't. And maybe you actually went, oh, okay then, and you let that man or woman of your dreams go. If that's the case and they're still in your life, go and get them. Have another go. Don't live with regret. Because I always say this, you'll get to 90 and you'll be like, shit, I really shouldn't have done that. I should have gone with what I actually wanted. Oh, and Alex says the guy who told her to sing was only joking. So that's good, Alex. So that's point number one. Let's start challenging more no's, guys, right? Point number two. This is what Connor's doing. This is why I respect him so much, okay? Regardless of what you think of him, I respect this about him more than any other aspects of him, and that successful people disrupt the status quo, okay? These crazy successful people are like rebels at heart, okay? Wherever or whatever they are doing, they're disrupting the way things are done. They're championing for change and they don't apologize for it, okay? That's another thing about people just, particularly in the acting industry, it's almost like, oh, God, I'm sorry for being alive. I'm sorry for reaching out and asking you for a job. I'm sorry for going for what I want in my life. Oh, like this is a little mouse. Shall I sit here? Shall I sit there? Oh, I'm sorry for breathing. It's bullshit. Don't apologize for anything unless, you know what you should apologize for. Don't apologize for going and getting something that you want. And successful people know the solution to the problem lies in doing something completely and utterly insane. I think sometimes you've got to do things that are a little bit insane. And people would go, whether that's I wouldn't spend all that money on that, what if it goes wrong? Or, I wouldn't necessarily put that out, or I wouldn't ask that of that person. Why not? People, because you ain't going to, unless you're doing things that other people aren't doing, you're not going to have anything that other people aren't having. And we all know from most people in the acting industry, it's very little. Actors just, experience very, very little success in this industry unless they are doing things that are a little bit insane or a little bit risky, or, they're ultimately going all in on something, I would say, as opposed to dabbling in success. You go, fuck it, I'm going all in on this. And whether it's, do I buy this piece of kit or this piece of kit? Oh, well, this is a bit expensive. I could get away with it on this piece of shit here. It's a lot cheaper. I always go all in on the big piece of kit because I'm like, right, I'm committed then. I've spent the money. And that means I can't back out and go, oh, well, I didn't really spend anything anyway. There's nothing on the line. I've just done that this week. I've just spent an awful lot of money on new camera equipment for a feature that I'm going to be bringing out on ActsOnThis.tv very soon, that I'm so excited to show you guys. And it feeds into a little bit about this. This is what I'm doing is disrupting. No one else, I don't think, in this industry is doing what I'm going to be doing. And I know people are going to... Some people are going to love it, and I know some people are going to hate it. It's going to polarize some people. Some people will be like, who is this guy? Who does he think he is? I don't give a shit. I really don't care. It's disrupting the status quo, but I think it's also giving me some power back in my hands to form my own career without asking permission from other people to do so. So I'm excited about it, but I know equally I'm not going to please everybody. I'm waiting for the comments that I'll get that will be negative. Couldn't care less. So disrupt if you can. You're like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to just sit back and do the usual. I'm not just going to send my show reel to a casting director once a quarter, ring my agent once every 6 months, and sit and wait for the phone to ring. Because that's what 99% of actors are doing. And that's probably what everyone on here is doing. It is what I was doing for a long time. Tony Rossi's joined from the States. Good evening, Tony. Well, good afternoon for you. But yeah, let's start doing things a little bit different. Fanny, you do all your improvisations are different. They're a little bit insane and crazy, and you open yourself up for praise and criticism. And people will be like, "That I love these." People will be like, "I hate these." Don't give a shit about it. Just keep it. If they make you happy, they're definitely disruptive. Some are a bit controversial. Just keep doing them. Nobody, don't focus on like the 2 people who don't like them. Focus on the 100 people who love them. Absolutely. What's Alex saying here? I would have leapt at that opportunity. What, to sing? Alex Hewitt, can you sing? If you can, I challenge you to put a song in the Facebook group. And if you're watching this and you're not a member of the Acts on This Facebook group and you are an actor, go to facebook.com/groups/ActOnThisTV. And join the group. Yeah, you might be watching this on the Facebook page right now, but go and join the Facebook group. You'll find it on this page as well, but don't do it just now because you'll miss the broadcast. And so that's point number 2, right? Successful people disrupt the status quo. Let's just start disrupting, okay? Point number 3, successful people, I love this. I love it so much. Just don't care what others think. This is something that over the last 6 months, I've become so good at. And I never used to be good at it. I used to care so much what other people might think of me, particularly people in this industry who may be seen as respected, that kind of pseudo power I was talking about before. Casting directors, people like that, directors, writers, stuff like that. I'm like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that feature? Should I interview this person? Should I do that? Should I go about it this way? Is it a dumb thing? And I'd worry a little bit about what the outcome might be if, people was like, oh, well... I had people, I promise you, I had people in this industry when I was launching I do a mindset program for actors just once a year called Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success. There's lots of people on this broadcast now who have been through the program and it's changed their lives. There's people going through it on the broadcast right now, and I promise you it will change your lives. I had people super respected in this industry. I won't mention any names at all. A week before I was launching that program for the first time, tell me it was the wrong thing to do. Tell me that people would frown on it. They would look at me like, as empowering the wrong kind of people, I was told on occasion. Quite a few negative comments from people who actually, I really respect. I still respect to this day because they were just giving me their honest feedback. They weren't trying to sabotage it. They're just going, look, you have to realise this. There might be some agents out there who don't like this. There'll be casting directors out there who see you doing this and don't like this. 2 years down the line, and they've seen the results, these same people are now promoting the program for me. So if I would have cared what those people thought initially, I would never have done it, and then they would have always thought they were right. 2 years later, They're like, wow, we've seen the results of this. We know this isn't bullshit anymore. This isn't just some kind of fad. And they're actually tweeting and emailing people on my behalf to get them to sign up to the program because they've seen the effects that it can have on people. That really was absolute clarification to me to start really not giving a shit what people think, because that would have held me back so much. Bulletproof Actor has been one of the most successful and kind of like satisfying projects I've ever created or worked on. I would have robbed myself of all of that and transforming the lives of around about 125, actually, no, the independent study course as well, probably 150 plus actors have been through the program. And I wouldn't be interacting with you guys in the way that I do had I not done that program either. So it was at that point for me where I just stopped giving a shit. I really, really couldn't care. There was a couple of actresses in an incredibly negative Facebook group that I just don't spend any time in, utterly slagging off me and showreel producer Chris Stone for doing our 8-hour showreel surgery broadcast the other day, because they were saying how it hijacked their event, which is bullshit. We were doing something completely different, and just because we were doing something way better than they ever could have dreamed of with their own event, they slated the ass off us. I didn't get involved. I didn't spend any time in that group, and I would never have known those comments were happening until people actually screenshotted me them and emailed me them. I looked at them, and I had two options. I could have jumped into that group and started going mental and defending myself and all this kind of stuff, or I could have actually just deleted them, as in like just completely ignored these comments off these stupid little people and just got on with my business and my life. And that's exactly what I did, because I just didn't care what they thought. I knew my intention was pure. And we impacted 8,000 people positively on that day. We gave away hundreds of pounds of the prizes, and we all had a great time. It was pure jealousy and envy that fueled those negative comments from those people. And when you get negative comments on social media, I promise you, it's only because the people giving you those comments are in pain mentally themselves. So they're completely, they're the ones who will always lose, and they will go on throughout life just to lose because they have losing DNA. So don't worry when people slate you on social media or anything like that. Simon says, BPA is changing my outlook on life. All so far so good. You have so much support from people now, says Warren. Thank you, Warren. A brilliant day, Ross, says Dawn. It was awesome, wasn't it? Really, really good. But people don't like other people having success because it threatens their own. This is what we're talking about, and this is why you mustn't care what other people think, because it will just threaten your success. So, I've got on the slide here, you don't like what they're doing, as in the successful people. They don't care. You think they're crazy. They would probably agree with you because they hate average, which is the alternative. These women slating us are just very average, or if not, one of them in particular, very below average. How about opinions? Do they care about them? Well, they only care about the opinions when it's warranted and helps the cause. So I'm always open to feedback. The only difference between feedback and criticism is how you take it. So if anybody's on here and they're like, Ross, actually, you know what, your Periscopes or your Facebook broadcasts will be better if they had this, this, and this in them. That ain't criticism. That's like genuinely honest feedback. And I love all that sort of stuff. So that's warranted feedback and that's warranted opinions. I'm gladly going to take those on board. It's just the petty nonsense ones that don't actually, serve a purpose. Successful people don't care about trying to please everyone or about whether or not people agree with them. This is absolutely key, okay? They are the rebels with a cause, and caring about the insignificant just distracts them from smashing their goals out of the park. So what do you find the most difficult in terms of, on this subject, the most difficult part of not giving a flying beep what other people think? I think for me, it's just come with age. Honest to God, I think I would find it much more difficult. Alex, how old are you? Like 21, something like that. I would have found it way more difficult at that age to not give a shit what people thought of me. As I've got older and I've done things and proved myself to be right when I didn't care, it now comes a lot easier. I think what you've got to do is trust yourself initially, even when you're young, that whatever you're doing, if it feels right, or whatever you're doing is like, you know what, I'm doing this for the greater good, or I'm doing this because it feels the right thing to do. Do that regardless of what other people think. I think in 99.9% of times, you're going to prove yourself right. And that's going to feed into your confidence for next time. You're going to be like, I told you it was the right decision. And then you're going to feel, you're going to take more action. You're going to have better results next time. Fanny says it's gone the other way for her She was more confident when she was younger, and she's lost confidence she's older. I think for you, Fanny, on the Bulletproof Actor call the other night, we won't go into that on here because it's private, but I think for you need to change up. And a lot of people on here need to change up their routines, change up their days, change up kind of their experiences of life, and get some zest back for kind of like doing stuff effectively. I've been like that in the past where I've been, my days have been so similar each and every day. I've done it on actonthis.tv where the website was just, I've worked on the same looking website for 3 years. I'm like, I need to change. I need to induce some enthusiasm back into what I'm doing. I'm going to completely rewrite this from the ground up, and we've done that a few times, or I introduce new features. I think you've got to constantly grow, and when you're challenging yourself and you are growing, your confidence grows with you, but you've got to have that courage in the first place to go with change. Simon says change is good, but Simon, change is so hard for so many people, man. It is for me, I have a definitely set routine for certain things. That will be difficult. But I don't have a set routine for kind of features and things in the way that I put myself out in the world, because I'm going to try lots of different things. I'm going to try it all. Tony says, how do you know when it's time for change? I'll tell you when it's time for change, Tony. Let's bring this down to ice cream, okay? Great little point here, okay? I remember many years back, all I ever ate was chocolate ice cream, okay? And I thought it was the best thing ever. I was like, this is my flavour, right? Chocolate, 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 chocolate. I was very, very young. I remember trying strawberry ice cream for the first time, and I was like, oh my God, this is mind-blowing, okay? Strawberry ice cream very quickly became my favourite ice cream, okay? But I would never have known it was going to be my favourite if I had never tried it. I would always have thought chocolate was the best. So I think, when do you know it's time for change? I think like on a constant basis, Tony. I think you should always be looking to try as many things as you can. For you, you might be a hot dog fan. And you're like, I would never have known hot dogs were so much better than beef burgers if I'd have only tried a beef burger. I just think the world is so rich in what it has to offer. You should be trying different things all the time until you latch onto the thing. You go, right, this is the thing that time and time again I come back to. So, for me, I try vanilla ice cream after that. Mint choc chip, I hate it. Always go back to strawberry, just like always now. But it doesn't mean once I was on strawberry, I stopped. Tried all the other ones. Tried all the fish food and all the crazy ones that we get, Ben and Jerry's and all that stuff over here in the UK. Don't know if you guys have those in the States. But yeah, it was like, I try new stuff all the time. But, when you find the thing that you like every time, you'll go back to it each time and you'll know it's the right thing. So just try as much as you can, and that for me, if you said to me right now, Ross, what do you actually want to do for the rest of your life? Do you want to act? Do you want to do presenting? Do you want to do podcasting? Do you want to do these broadcasts? All this sort of stuff? My honest answer is I have no idea. I really, genuinely have no... Rum and raisin, says Wendy. Well, rum and raisin's amazing, Wendy. Love it. I have no idea. Yeah, genuinely have no idea. And that excites me so much because I'm like, well, I'm going to just continue throughout my entire life trying loads of different stuff. For me, as long as I'm creating something, whether it's writing something, whether it's... and I mean like literally like writing an article. I don't mean like writing a play or something like that. Whether it's writing an article, whether it's recording a podcast, whether it's doing one of these broadcasts. I enjoy writing up these slides, for this presentation tonight, because it's creative. And I'm just like, as long as I keep creating something, I know I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to try lots of different things. You're going to see loads more video from me soon. With this new kit that I've got, you're going to see weekly videos of me and all behind the scenes, literally of my life, guys, which is going to be quite interesting. Lots of new interviews that we kind of do on the fly. Danielle's into sorbet, she says. Boom. Sorbet's good as well. Nice palate cleanser there, Danielle. If you go to a very posh restaurant and you get sorbet between courses to cleanse the palate. But yeah, I'm just going to keep trying stuff, mate. I would suggest everybody in here keeps doing that. Don't get yourself locked into just one thing. I think it's kind of a very limited life. And I need to try Neapolitan ice cream. Chocolate, strawberry, and chocolate and vanilla together, Mary. I've definitely had it. I'm a bit of a purist. So I'm like, just straight on strawberry. It's got to have real strawberries in it, though. Is the key for me. No, we've gone off on a tangent, but that was number 3. Successful people just don't care what other people think. I mean, seriously, please go and listen. If you've not subscribed, I did a podcast all on this, actually, just yesterday. It's called, if you go to iTunes or go to Stitcher.com and just search for Act on This TV. All one word though, no gaps in it. Act on This TV. Subscribe to the podcast that I put out. I put out like 2 or 3 pieces of audio every single week. Some are exclusive to the podcast. Some are like the audio from these Periscope broadcasts and these Facebook broadcasts. But I did one last night, and it was called Just Stop Caring What Other People Think. And it's like a 13-minute podcast all about this. Go and just listen to that and subscribe to the podcast. I deliver free audio every single week. Just search for Act on This TV in the iTunes store, or if you've got an Android, go to Stitcher.com, STITCHER.com, and subscribe. Like, it's an awesome podcast, honestly, and it's all completely for free, delivered straight to your device. Go check it out. So that's point number 3. Yeah, just stop caring what other people think. Point number 4, successful people are fucking loaded with energy. Okay, don't confuse energy with volume. All right, I don't mean that. Okay, I don't mean people running around going woo, all this kind of stuff. That can come across as pretty fake. All right, but successful people, these passionate people, are loaded with energy, and the key is they let you know it. Okay, and they can do that without shouting. All right, they just don't hold back though. And they know that the key to convincing you of their grand plan is to demonstrate it through their energy. The only thing you've got really when you're going into a situation to influence someone or to to ask for a favor, or ultimately just get what you want out of life, is the energy behind your request. So if you go to a casting director, hi, yeah, I like acting, and yeah, it'd be pretty good to do that, really. Yeah. I mean, it's not a very compelling energy, is it? At all. Whereas if you walk into the room, shake them by the hand, look them in the eye, like, oh, I'm just super excited about this script. I couldn't stop reading it last night. Love this scene. What do you think about this character? I've had an idea about this. That don't you have to go overboard and be sycophantic and all creepy. But when you show genuine enthusiasm and energy for something, then other people get enthusiastic about it as well, okay? Successful people are just fired up about what they are doing, and they won't be happy until they achieve their mission, okay? To support this mission, they take care of themselves. This is another key to your energy, by eating foods that fuel their body and exercising to get the blood flowing, okay? Absolutely critical that you're looking after yourselves. And a big part of that as well is sleep, guys, as well. I might do an entire Periscope and Facebook broadcast on actually kind of hacking your sleep. I've read a lot of books on this. I've not quite perfected it myself at all, without a doubt, but I've changed my routine completely over the last 2 years, where I'm up first thing in the morning, 6 a.m., working out by 7 a.m., finish by 8 a.m., and healthy breakfast and stuff. It's absolutely changed my energy levels, like more than anything else has in my entire life. But we must be looking after ourselves. Getting our sleep cycles right, not staying up till 4 a.m. watching Netflix. Be like Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony. Endless energy, says Bobby. Excellent, Bobby. Caroline says, you're such a great role model, Ross. Thank you, Caroline. I ain't perfect at all, though. I've got great role models in my life as well. So a lot of what I've learned, I've not made up and just discovered. I've learned this off some incredibly successful people as well. So I'm always trying to evolve myself to pass on that knowledge to you guys. Danielle says, me too. I tried to do 6:15 wake up once. I need practice. Alex, it's all about consistency. Honestly, when I started going from basically being a night owl to being a morning person, completely screws you over for the first week or so. Really does. But you've just got to stay with it when you're creating a new habit and a new it's what they call a circadian rhythm. Effectively, it's like the cycle of your sleep-wake cycle for for your body. Naturally, we should go to sleep a few hours after it gets dark, and we should wake a few hours after it gets light. We don't, because obviously life ain't like that. We've got distractions and electricity. But a lot of the stuff that we use in the evening, like all the screens you're watching now, emit something called blue light, effectively, which is the same frequency as daylight. So it stops your melatonin production in your body, which is the sleep hormone that makes you drowsy. So what you can do to combat that is if you use the night mode on all your electronic devices, or even buy some blue light blocking glasses, which are orange tinted glasses, your body will start creating melatonin way earlier. So you will feel sleepier a bit earlier, Alex, which means you're going to drift off to sleep better, get a better quality night's sleep as well. You're going to feel more refreshed when you wake up. It's a whole other topic, sleep hacking, but Google it. You'll find a lot of articles and some great books on it as well. So that's point number 4. Successful people are effing loaded with energy. It's like that. It's such an incredible currency that you all have, and it's free, but you don't realize it. You know, ultimately, it's the way you show up in a room and the way you introduce yourself to people, the way you hold yourself, the way you request stuff. It can make a huge difference to your request if you make it with energy. Okay, so make sure you're looking after yourself. And lastly, point number 5. This is like something again that you will know impacted my life massively a few years ago, and I started realizing this, and I stopped looking at life as transactional and basically what I could get out of life. I started looking at actually what I could give to other people. Makes a huge difference in your life. Something magical happens when you live by this. So successful people serve others at their core. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, whether it's serving a community, you might, you know, have a community. I serve a community effectively, you guys, you know, customers, maybe you run a business. If you're an actor, you know, it might be your audience, employees, or people in need. You know, successful people serve someone other than themselves. The most unsuccessful people, oh God bless her, that actress who was completely slagging me and Chris off was apparently running a day that you all know of. It was a day that happened the other day that we were promoting massively alongside our events for the good of other people, apparently. It got to the point, though, where she was so pissed off that other people were using her event to help other people. She's now decided that she's actually going to trademark the name of that event. Now, what that does is it takes that event and that hashtag that is used on that day off the people. So it was never in her interest to serve others. The entire day was effectively a real egotistical, self-driven, just like indulgent fest for her own ego, you know? Otherwise, she would never have decided to trademark that hashtag. It's bullshit. I mean, and it's a big waste of money as well, because you can't even trademark a hashtag, unfortunately. She probably doesn't know that. But you can't. Unless you're already making money in a business of that name, you can't trademark or copyright anything like that at all. And if you could and you wanted to, it would cost you way, way more money than it's worth. But it's bullshit. It took that event off the people and just basically went, well, it's actually not about you. I'm not trying to serve others at my core. I'm completely trying to serve myself, because I didn't get all the attention, and it wasn't all on me, and it was on other people as well. I didn't like it. And that's, again, losing DNA. She's lost. Such a loser, and it's a real shame. So winning people, successful people, they want to serve people other than themselves, okay? And it's this mission of service that all of their ideas revolve around. For them, it's about doing something that is bigger than themselves, that leaves a legacy beyond their own human existence. So for you guys as actors, for myself, I mean, this is going to be online forever, you know? The thing we're doing right now is going to outlive me. It's going to outlive everyone on this scope, unless Facebook decides to delete it somehow. It's legacy. You know, my grandkids, this is what I love about live broadcasting and what I love about video so much, is everyone on here, just think, if you could sit down now, and I don't have my grandparents in my life anymore, and a lot of people in here won't have the grandparents in their life anymore, but just imagine if say they were, or if this could happen, if you could sit down and actually watch video footage of your grandparents working towards success at 21, at 25, at 30, at 35, at 40, and they documented ultimately their progress via stuff like this. How incredible would that be to go, oh my God, like, you know, grandma and granddad, amazing people, and look, this is them hustling through the war. This is what it was like to live back then. All this kind of crazy stuff would just be amazing, and that's legacy that lives on way beyond them. We actually all have the power to do that, yet so few people are doing it, and this is what I want to start doing in a few weeks' time, effectively documenting, ultimately kind of like my life, not in an egotistical way, but just in a kind of like, you know, document the fun stuff, you know, document the challenges, document actually what I'm doing, so that people in 10, 20 years' time can't turn around and go, oh yeah, he had it easy, that guy, how lucky was he? Go, well, wasn't kind of, really. If you have a look at this video footage, you'll see me working really hard for the last 35 years. I just think it's amazing, an amazing opportunity and gift that we all have, that I would love to see other people on here recognise as well. Because that's, you know, that's leaving something behind that's going to help other people, maybe inspire other people. They can learn from your journey as well. And it's going to be a legacy that lives beyond your own human existence. So successful people, you know, didn't just wake up one day either and realise this crucial universal law I've put here of serving others. Because this is like a really crucial universal law, okay? It actually took them many traps, like money. This is I've been in all of these. Maybe not a toxic relationship, or maybe, but money, toxic relationships, and addictions to get down to the core of their existence. A lot of successful people ultimately, have hit rock bottom at times, and they actually realize that life's more about like what they can give as opposed to what they can take. And I think it's at that point where you learn that serving others is way more fulfilling than pretty much anything you could do for yourself. And if you can do stuff for yourself while serving other people, you've won. That for me is like it. Unfortunately, that woman couldn't see that she was doing something good for other people. When it became about other people, she took it off the people. But yeah, successful people ultimately serve others at their core, okay? It's really important to just think this week how you are serving others. It doesn't mean necessarily a huge community. I mean like your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your child, your son, your daughter, your friends, the lollipop lady who you pass every day on the way in from the gym, like I do when I stop to talk to Debbie every single day. Am I bringing value to her life? Do I make her smile when it's pissing down in the rain and she's stood there having to cross kids across the road for an hour and a half, soaking wet through? How are you serving the barista who is behind the counter making your coffee? It doesn't mean you're literally serving them and giving them money and stuff like that, but are you making their day a little bit better? Are you leaving people in a better state than you found them? That's ultimately my mission in life. I mean, full stop. That's it. Everyone I come into contact with, am I leaving them in a better state than I actually found them? Even if it's just I just say one word to them, good morning, and smile. That's enough. In a lot of cases to, for people to just acknowledge somebody actually exists. People have been saved from suicide by that happening. There's a very famous story of a guy who was going to go and throw himself off the Golden Gate Bridge because he just felt basically he was so insignificant, no one gave a shit about him. On the way to walking to throw himself off that bridge, somebody, thank God, was walking his dog, walked past him, looked him in the eyes, smiled and said, good morning. At that moment, the guy decided he was not going to take his own life because somebody, thank God, had acknowledged that he actually existed. So if people think it's weird, remember, we're not caring about what other people think. Smile at people when you walk down the street. You might save their life. It sounds mental, but it could be true, okay? Let's have a look. Alex says, I saw something the other day about creating an email account for a newborn baby, emailing achievements, pictures, etc. to them and giving them a password at 18. Could kind of do that in life in general. That's another incredible thing, yeah. I think that's lovely if you keep it all private as well. I think people wishing their son and daughter, happy first birthday on Facebook when the son and daughter is just one and can't read that. They'll have to wait, years and years and years to see that. It's a little bit mental, slightly self-indulgent. But I ain't going to judge. I've not got kids. Maybe when I have, I want to do that. But I think an email account like that where you email something to your son and daughter on their first birthday and their second birthday and third birthday, I think that's incredible. They can read all that back at 18 years old, go, there you go. I mean, that's massive legacy right there. That's a brilliant idea, Alex. Let's have a look. Danielle says, making people smile is such a boost as well. Goes both ways and keeps sparkling up. Absolutely. Ripple effects. Other people walk about happier, show up better to other people, who show up better to other people. And Danielle, the person who they show up better to might be a member of your family or one of your friends. So that's karma. That's how that works. Spiraling up. Oh, spiraling up. Though sparkling is good too. So that's a bit of predictive text. But I like sparkling as well. Danielle, definitely. So that's point number 5. You've got to do things for other people bigger than yourself. And it doesn't mean you've got to be completely selfless or altruistic. That's nonsense. No, I don't think true altruism actually exists. Everything that I do, I get so much out of helping you guys and so much out of doing this. If this was a misery for me, I wouldn't do it. Just to be honest with you. I love it though. I love seeing what you guys go on and do and who you inspire and seeing all the posts on Facebook and all the tweets that I get and the emails I get. It's incredible. But it's about something bigger than myself, but I'm getting a lot from it. So ultimately, yeah. Are you ready to start doing things a bit differently now? Okay, we looked at 5 things that people who are having massive success, I just believe, are doing differently to 99.9%. Okay, so to recap, successful people, this is what they're doing differently. 1, they challenge the word no. Give me some comments and some hearts if you're going to challenge the word no this week. Definitely. Andrew says a smile costs nothing. You never know what might happen. Exactly, Andrew. You never know. You might meet your husband or wife, man. Just smile at people. Don't smile at other people's husbands and wives, though. Maybe that'll just get you a fight. But yeah, number 2, disrupt the status quo. Let's stop doing everything the way everybody else is doing it because the outcome is so predictable. If you're doing what 99% of other actors in this industry are doing, ultimately, you're not going to be working. It's just as brutal as that. I just think most people are getting it wrong. And if you're copying everybody else, you're just going to get it wrong as well. Just start disrupting the status quo. Stop giving all the people in power even more power than they think they have. Because they're romantic about their power as well. They wouldn't want other people thinking, what? They can get in shows without me casting them in shows. They can create their own work. They can get distribution deals on the internet without us. Well, yes, all those things are absolutely true. You don't need anybody to give you permission to start doing stuff that you want to do, all right? Point number 3, just don't care. So there's some people just don't care what others think. They just don't care. Steve's here. Says just start rocking all over the world. Exactly, Steve. Status quo, I get it. But yeah, please just stop caring so much about what other people think. Do the right thing. Never do something that's going to hurt anybody. That's the wrong thing. Doing the right thing is always the right thing, and if it's the right thing for you, just don't give a shit what other people think. They're probably just jealous, or they don't want you to have success that they haven't had. The people who advise you to not do something that they did, that they failed at because they think you're going to fail at it as well, most of the time just don't want you to try that thing in case you do succeed, because it makes them feel even worse that when they tried it didn't work. Oh, don't go for crowdfunding for that film. I tried, I didn't raise any money. Told you, a friend of mine didn't take that advice recently, and she raised 13,000 quid, £3,000 over her 10 grand target. Had she listened to probably the 15 people who told her not to bother, she wouldn't have done it. She didn't care what other people thought. Mel, good afternoon for you. I think you're in Portland, Oregon, if I remember correctly. But yeah, just stop caring what other people think. Point number 4, successful people are effing loaded with energy. Just put F in there because that's loaded with energy in itself. I've asterisked out the rude bit. But yeah, like I say, this is a free currency that you all have. Costs you nothing. Doesn't cost you anything to walk into a room with a positive, loaded energy, full of confidence, commitment, and courage. Try your best to show up in the world this week, even when you don't feel like it. You know what? The fastest way to get out of a shitty mental state is to change your physical state. I felt tired and kind of lethargic on Sunday. I couldn't be arsed. I was just like, oh God, I was overwhelmed mentally because I had so many little tasks to do, admin things, stuff on the website, uploading things to the internet, all this kind of stuff I have to do because I run acts on this on my own. It gets overwhelming sometimes. And I was like, right, I really do not want to go out and run. I feel so lethargic. But I actually knew for me not to feel lethargic, I had to do the thing that I was using as an excuse to not do, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. Basically, for me to not feel lethargic, I had to go out and run. Even though I really couldn't be arsed running. I went out, I ran 10 miles, and I felt amazing. Felt absolutely amazing. I wouldn't have done that if I'd have kind of listened to my energy at the time, which just felt like shit, to be honest. So if you are feeling low, or you're feeling, mentally you're not right, you're not with it, you're not got clarity, change your physical state. It's the fastest way to change your mental state. Get up, move, do star jumps, run, have a cold shower, do what do what just works for you ultimately. But if you change your physical state, your mental state will change with it very, very quickly. Okay. And last point there, the last thing other successful people do, they serve others at their core. It's not all about them. And I promise you, when you start serving others, like, all the other stuff comes with it. Money comes with it. If you go after money, you won't get it. You'll fail quick. If you go after fame, you won't get it. You'll fail quick. If you go after all the stuff that purely serves you, you'll fail quickly. If you go after the stuff that serves everybody else, all that other stuff just comes with it. I promise you, I've experienced it myself. It's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. It's just what happens. And, and hopefully it's just going to, continue to get greater and greater. Everything interconnects mentally and physically, says Caroline. I believe so. Absolutely, Caroline. So that's the recap, guys. They're the 5 things. Challenge the word no. Disrupt the status quo. Just don't care what others think. Get yourself loaded with energy and serve others at your core, okay? I want to end on this quote. It's by John McEnroe, and this relates back to the haters, all right? Remember this. Everybody loves success, but they hate successful people. Okay? John McEnroe, incredibly famous tennis player. You'll know him for the you cannot be serious moment. Where he's attacking the referee because he didn't think he could be serious. But yeah, I think it's an incredibly powerful quote. this is the thing, other that will feed back into you if you're not careful. You start having success to a certain degree, other people around you will try and bring you down. Okay, and that's effectively going to just, that's going to take you back down to, that area of survival or failure. You won't be in the success zone anymore. So fall in love with success for yourself, and for the other people around you who you can serve. You're not being successful for the haters. Or actually, you know what? Sometimes be successful for the haters just so you can follow that no up with "I told you so." But yeah, just remember that that everybody loves success, but a lot of people, I would say, hate successful people. It's the way you'll see people bitching on social media about everything. It's the way you'll see people bitching on social media about governments this and governments that, and famous people this and famous people that. Oh, look at that person who's earning millions and has dodged a bit of tax, even though it was legal. If you could get away with it, would you? I reckon you would. I reckon you wouldn't be going, here, government, here, I've paid you loads anyway, but have another few million quid. People will hate on them, though, because they're successful. So don't hate on successful people. Be inspired by them. Go out there and ask them for how they did it so you can get there as well. Be motivated by these people. And celebrate their success. You'll be so much happier when you can celebrate other people's successes, and particularly in the acting industry, because other people's successes, you know what, if they like you because you've helped them, you've celebrated their success, and there's no envy and jealousy there, they might be in a position to help you up. I live by the philosophy one up, all up. Rob James Collier taught me that, an actor who played Thomas in Downton Abbey. You'll know him. I've interviewed him a few times, good mate of mine. He said to me years ago, Ross, one up, all up. And that means if you get in a position in the industry where you can take someone with you, you'll do it. And he's shown that many times. Actually, I'm working with him at the moment on something. So do that. If you can help people, just do it. You'll just be way more, way happier, way more successful yourself. Anna's here. Good evening, or I don't know where you're viewing from, Anna. I think you're from down south, aren't you, in the UK? So you are evening. But yeah, Alex says, if you need someone to work for you, the admin stuff, then I'll be up for that. Ross, thank you, Alex. Massively appreciate the offer. Would definitely let you know if there's stuff that comes up that you can do. Really do appreciate that. Mel says, good evening as well. She says, do no harm. Completely agree. Yeah, absolutely. As long as what you're doing is serving people, Mel, don't care what other people think of it or anything like that. Absolutely. So that's tonight's session, guys, basically. I hope it's served you well. I'll jump on camera in a sec, but before I do, I'll put this slide up. And it's basically just for those who are new. I do 2 of these Periscopes a week. Well, I keep calling Periscopes, but they're on Facebook Live. I know there's loads of people watching on Facebook Live now. So it's a dual cast on Periscope and Facebook Live. Monday nights, 9 p.m. British summertime. We're in British summertime at the moment. That's Motivation and Mind Hacks. That's tonight. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. British summertime is Book Club. You can tune in at twitter.com/book twitter.com/Act on This TV. Reading that wrong. Or facebook.com/Act on This TV. Would hugely appreciate you joining me live next time, because I love it. I just want to know where people are viewing from. Thanks so much for sharing all this stuff. I'll jump on camera for a sec. We'll do like 3 or 4 minutes of Q&A before we finish. Warren says, thanks, appreciate your time. I appreciate your time though, Warren. Honestly, I appreciate everybody's attention on here more than you will ever know. I feel people's attention is like the number one thing they have to give. I think it's more important than money. It's more important than time, because you can give someone your time but not your attention at the same time. So if I came for a coffee with you, I could be there and I could give you my time, sit there for half an hour, but if I'm not actually present and I'm not giving you my attention, it's pointless me being there. So if you sat here, you guys have all sat here now for nearly an hour tonight, giving me your attention, it's priceless. Like, seriously, thank you so much. And if I can do anything for you, and you need help with anything, I'm only an email away. People email me all the time. I sometimes take a little bit of time to get back to people because I get a lot of emails, but ross@actonthis.tv. If you've got any questions, drop me a line or tweet me at rossagran @actonthisTV. More than happy to help. Ashley is here. Ashley says, really needs to hear this tonight. Ashley, thank you for Ashley Campbell. Thank you so much for being here. Massively appreciate you. Have you done a book club recently? Alex, we do the book club on Facebook every Wednesday night. If you want to watch the replays of any of these, by the way, go to www.actonthis.tv and you'll see on the homepage, it'll say Facebook and Periscope broadcast, or this week on Facebook and Periscope, and you'll see like the latest 2 broadcasts. But if you go into the menu, you click the little 3 lines at the top of the page on the left hand side, it'll slide out and you'll actually see some sections. One's book club, one's motivation and mind hacks, which is this scope tonight. But this is broadcast number. Have a guess what this is, because Wednesday night it's going to be a milestone. tonight is broadcast 199. So we're at the 200th broadcast on Wednesday, which is awesome. So join me, 9 p.m. We'll be looking at Sean Stevenson's book, Get Off Your Butt. It's all about quitting making excuses about why you're not doing stuff, ultimately. So it ties in a little bit with what we've looked at tonight. Yeah, Warren, 200. I can't believe it. I've been binge watching actonthis.tv since I won the prize on Wednesday. Wendy won a 12-month premium subscription. Wendy, what do you think of it? What have you listened to? What's been your favourite feature so far? So I've interviewed over 400 hours worth of people in the industry, biggest casting directors in the industry, agents, writers, producers, famous actors. When he says it's brilliant, from all over the industry. Yeah, I mean, we're talking the biggest names in the industry. I mean, literally, there is no one bigger, really, in terms of the acting TV industry in the UK that I've not interviewed. So everybody like Andy Pryor, who cast Doctor Who, you'll know the huge Doctor Who announcement just happened with Jodie Whittaker. Andy was massively involved with that. He's cast Doctor Who for ages. He's got an interview on the website. I might be interviewing him again as well. Just sent him an email today. Loads of people. Kelly and Victor, who cast Broadchurch. Kate Rowe James, who does Line of Duty. Ripper Street. Daniel Edwards, who does Mr. Selfridge. When he says, I actually met Michael Jackson after watching your interview with him. Michael Jackson, not the king of pop, the king of casting. Michael Jackson's an awesome casting director who's married to Beverly Keogh, who casts some of the biggest drama in the country. There's just so much on there. So go to actonthis.tv. You can catch up on all the broadcasts on here that we've done on here. Catch up all the replays, but you can watch so much more as well. Also, would massively appreciate you guys subscribing on YouTube. I've got 965 subscribers on YouTube. You get some like cool privileges from YouTube when you hit 1,000 subscribers, where I can do more stuff for you guys. If you would subscribe to Act on This TV on YouTube, would hugely appreciate it. youtube.com/Act on This TV. Subscribe, it's free. All my videos go on there as well. Again, you can watch tons and tons of stuff on there, all for free. But if you subscribe and get to 1,000 subscribers, you know what? If I get to 1,000 subscribers, whoever subscribed, one of you guys, I'm going to choose a subscriber at random and I'm going to give you a prize. Don't know what it is, but it'll be something good. It'll be like a book, or it'll be a subscription to Act on This, or it'll be, don't know, what else have I got? A pack of highlighter pens. The golden rules of acting. These are prizes that I'm sending out tomorrow, actually, that people won on the Show Real Surgery broadcast. But I'll give a prize to somebody. So go and subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/Act on This TV. And I'll a sticky phone case, says Caroline. I've already given Dawn one of them. Although Dawn, you've not got it yet. It's here, Dawn. This is Dawn's prize. She's going to collect it at the next Act on This meetup. So yeah, who knows what I'm going to be giving. Hey, look. Here's what I was talking about. Here's some of the kit I've been buying this week to start filming some of these new features. It's got a Panasonic GH5, this. Shit hot camera. Way too expensive, probably, for me to be in control of. But yeah, that's a little clue there about what's going to be going on soon. What are you filming with that, says Steve? Loads of stuff, Steve. That whole thing we said before about legacy and documenting, it's a little clue for you there. Who's that? Kimberly says she wants it. Well, Kimberly, tell you, man, go get one, or you can rent it, and then you can rent this one off me for £500 a go, and then it'll pay for itself after a few goes. Are you ever publishing the ebook? Oh yeah, no, absolutely, Fanny. Yeah, so oh god, that's such a long time ago. Thanks for reminding me. So I got people to write letters to their 16-year-old selves, probably about getting on for a year ago, and people they sent in all the letters, advice basically they would give to their younger self. I've collated all those letters together, and I'm going to publish an ebook of those. It'll all be free, that people can just download and read. I think it's interesting. I think you're going to see a lot of yourself in a lot of those letters. It's definitely on the cards, Fanny. All those letters are still stored on my website. It just comes out of time, unfortunately. There's just so you wouldn't believe how much work. Well, you will soon, because I'm going to be filming it all. Show you actually what goes into running a site like this. Literally, I'm recording this now, what I have to do every single morning. So what happens is I get off this scope, I go to bed, because I just need to be in bed by about 10:30. I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, I get back, as I'm making my breakfast, I start editing the beginning of this intro on something called Final Cut, on the beginning of this broadcast. I upload it to YouTube. Then I have to go over to Act on This. I need to write an article to go with it. I need to design the thumbnails and all the pictures, put all that together, put the video in there, publish it all. make all the Facebook posts and all the Twitter posts for it as well. Then I have to start publishing news on the website. Then I've got to get back to answering all my emails. I've got to do all the Bulletproof Actor stuff for Thursday night. I've got to plan Wednesday night's book club. I've got to do a Fight to Thrive podcast for Friday. In the middle of that, I'm interviewing people, booking people in for stuff, and I've got my own acting career and voiceover career on top. It's pretty full on, but I will get round to stuff. Just got to prioritise stuff, basically. So that book will come out at some point. I just probably won't have time to do it for a bit, just to be honest with you. But it will. I'm not going to, it's timeless. It's not like it goes out of date. So I definitely will be publishing it at some point. So I wanted to say thanks, basically. Probably call it a day, guys. It's 10 o'clock, innit? But thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Scott Michael Wagstaff's here, subscribed. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. Subscribed on YouTube. You helped me with Recommend of Hyatt, led to my new habits, way of life. Thank you, Danielle. Amazing, Danielle. Michael Hyatt's a great guy. Worked with him quite a bit in the past. We'll be working with him again later this year. Top bloke. Really, really like him. Thank you, Melinda. Thanks, Danielle. Thank you, Scott. Thanks, Alex. Massively appreciate you all. Fanny, Caroline, thank you so much for being here. And join me Wednesday night if you can, 9 p.m. UK time or whatever time it is for you guys in the States. Tony and Mel and Karen in the States. But yeah, it'd be great to see you again. Dawn says, thanks. Love tonight, Ross, as always. Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Julia. Massively appreciate you. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play, for those who don't know what Act on This is, because maybe you're here for the first time, I noticed I've still got a video lined up on here that I'm going to play as the outro tonight, which is basically just a little 2-minute video of some interview clips from stuff that I've done, some people I've interviewed on actsonthis.tv. If you want to watch all of this stuff, it's super high quality stuff. Some are audio, some are video. Go to actsonthis.tv after this and sign up for membership. So a premium membership to access to everything is just £10 a month. It's £2.50 a week. It's like a cup of coffee a week to get access to the greatest minds in the industry, and a lot of that money goes to charity as well. You can see all about the charity donations on the site. I won't go into it now. But it's a force for good, and that's what I'm talking about tonight. It's greater than me. It's something bigger than me. It's legacy, which hugely appreciate you being a part of that. If you're listening on the Acts on This audio experience as well on iTunes or Stitcher, thanks so much for coming this far. I'll be back with more audio soon. Go and subscribe to that. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow me everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's always Act on This TV, all one word. Go out there and find it. I'll leave you with this video of some of the interviews that I've done on Act on This, and I'll catch up with you Wednesday night. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Your agent is only one part of your arms. You've got lots of things to do yourself. And if you're not on it, then why should your agent be on it? Because he or she will probably have anything from another 80 to 100 people to look after.
Yeah.
How much time can they put in a week? Half an hour, 20 minutes?
How did you find out that you'd been nominated for a BAFTA, that the show had been nominated for a BAFTA? Because you texted me to go, oh, congratulations on your BAFTA nomination and for the show. And you even mentioned you'd been nominated. It wasn't until I looked down half an hour later, I was like, wait a minute, Ruth, you're missing a massive thing out here. You've been nominated. How did you find out?
You've got the casting director who you'll meet in the room. You've got the director and the producer you'll probably also meet in the room. But then it will be watched by the exec producer, it'll be watched by the writer,
right,
and it will be also watched by the channel exec as well. So that's 3 other voices coming to it, and there could be more than one.
Whatever the companion's character, whatever's written for her, you've got to have that relationship between doctor and companion where they're kind of bouncing off each other and feeding off each other, and and it just felt very sparky and very alive with the 2 of them together. And Peter really loved the audition too.
Listen to the message, and it started, hi, this is Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant, and I was a big fan of the podcast, and the message started like that, exactly like the podcast did.
I used to love the podcast. Yeah, it's
I
brilliant.
thought I'd hit my iTunes instead of the voicemail button, sort of. And then it started saying, Warwick, we just had a look at what you sent us, and we really like it. And what do you want to do?